Next, we have specification 5, which asks us to explain that active immunity can be acquired either after an infection by a pathogen or through vaccination. Active immunity occurs when exposure to a pathogen stimulates the body to produce its own antibodies. This can happen in two ways. The first is natural active immunity, which happens when a person becomes infected with a pathogen. The immune system responds by making antibodies to fight off the infection. The second is artificial active immunity, which occurs through vaccination. A vaccine contains a harmless or weakened form of the pathogen, which stimulates the immune system to produce antibodies without causing the actual illness. In both cases, the immune system also creates memory cells, so if the same pathogen enters the body again, the response is faster and stronger, providing long-term protection. Now, let's talk about how infection leads to active immunity. When a person is infected by a pathogen for the first time, lymphocytes produce antibodies that are specific to that pathogen to fight it off. During this process, some lymphocytes turn into memory cells, which store the instructions for making the same antibodies in the future. If the same pathogen enters the body again, these memory cells allow antibodies to be produced much more quickly and in larger amounts. This rapid response destroys the pathogen before it can cause illness. This ability to respond faster and prevent disease after the first infection is what we call active immunity. However, some pathogens, like the cold virus, can change or mutate quickly, so memory cells from a previous infection may not always provide full protection. Now, let's talk about vaccination. Vaccinations protect against specific diseases by stimulating the immune system without exposing a person to the harmful effects of the actual disease, which could sometimes be fatal. The level of protection in a population also depends on how many people are vaccinated. Vaccines work by introducing a dead or weakened form of a pathogen that carries specific antigens into the body. In this weakened form, the pathogen cannot cause illness but is still able to trigger an immune response. Lymphocytes respond by producing antibodies that are complementary to the pathogen's antigens. These antibodies bind to the antigens and help generate memory cells. The memory cells remain in the blood and allow the immune system to respond quickly if the same antigen is encountered again from a live pathogen. Because of these memory cells, the immunity provided by vaccines is long-lasting, helping protect the individual and, indirectly, the wider community.